not worth wasting the effort. I just showed you the little razor blade trick as an option if you don't have a pair of tin snips. So, but they're pretty cheap to get from Harbor Freight, just like everything else. So they work pretty well for this. And I know people are gonna bitch and say, "Oh, you're gonna dull your tin snips." Well, tough shit. I don't cut a lot of tin, so I can always buy another pair if I don't like what they're doing. And that makes that really easy, so it's worth it. So I don't care. Alright, now, as you can see, I've got the bolts loose here. And I'm going to lower this heavy, rusty bucket full of old, nasty gasoline down. What could possibly go wrong? I don't know. But we're gonna find out. Okay. I used my air gun to loosen these. Now I don't normally recommend doing everything with the zip gun, but truth of the matter is these are usually really rusty on these straps. Fortunately for me, they were sitting in a garage for 25 years and didn't get real rusty. So alright, there we go. There's one strap. Oh, this sucker's getting heavy too. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is, well, let's set the camera down for now, and you can kind of see what's going on. It's good to have a second person for this job if you can, because then you both can kind of maneuver your equipment around. Can't find my, there it is, socket. Let's use that to help me turn the bolt a little bit. Alright, both straps are down. Let's see if I can dump some rusty gasoline in my face. Anybody want to place bets? Woo! Alright, wiggling my way out from under here, because this son of a bitch is heavy, full of gasoline. I hear it sloshing around in there. Probably not a great thing. Alright. Not too big of a mess. So the tank's down. And you can see the fuel sending unit right here. There it is. You get a wire from it right there. That's probably the power wire. And then the ground right here. It appears, yeah. And that's bolted. It's like right up there. The camera where I can see it. Here it is. Yeah, so I gotta take that little bolt right there off. And that'll help release this thing. I don't know if you can see this, but while I was trying to remove the ground strap, it broke off, which is fine. I'll show you what we can do with that whenever I go to put it back in. But I can just put another eyelet fitting on there and stick it back up there. That is, if this sending unit is even any good. Once I pull it out of the tank and get a look at it, if it's real nasty, I'm just gonna buy a new one. And it really makes sense to go ahead and do that while I have the thing apart. Okay, so here's where all of your fuel lines going to and from the engine are, and the engine compartment where the carbon canister is. Like I said, this was the first year, I believe, that they put this system in, and it was an emissions deal trying to, because back in the 60s and prior to that, because fuel, when it gets hot, expands, they needed to be able to vent the tanks. So they would just vent them through the fuel caps, actually. The fuel caps had vents in them, and sometimes they had a vent on top of the tank. This right here is the tank. And we're going to see in a minute how nasty this thing is inside when we pull this cinder off of here. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back. Let me pull this thing out from under the car, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so here's the sending unit, and we are going to remove it by using this brass drift and a rubber mallet. We're going to try to produce the least amount of sparks that we can by doing this way. There's a little lock ring here, and you have to kind of tap it. See the little tab on the locking ring? Right there. So I put the brass drift right there. And then continue to tap it around until it comes free. There we go. So there it is. This is your retaining ring right here. Alright. Oh, God. Look at that. Holy shit, that's nasty. Looks like barnacles. Okay, so I'd say this might be a good time for a new sender. Check out that, that is a filter. A filter sock, I call it. So, yeah, brilliant. Look, that's the shit that was coming up the fuel line and going into my carburetor. Lovely, huh? Alright, so oh yeah. Just put my fingers across the bottom of the tank and I can feel the rust. It's lovely. Yummy. So yeah, this one's definitely gonna need an overhaul. So we will safely dispose of this old nasty gasoline. And I'm gonna go on a part search and see how expensive it is to replace this sucker. Because I really don't think that that's worth trying to save at this point. I mean, it's, yeah. And what's interesting is the guy that sold me this car said, oh yeah, we dropped the tank and cleaned it out, and yeah, I don't think so, buddy. But, you know, I didn't really take all of what he said for gospel anyway, because he's trying to sell me a car. And it's okay, because it's still in great shape. But I will definitely be repairing that tank. Alright, cool. So, that's all for today. Here, I'll turn this way. I have gasoline on my hand, so it's probably not a good thing for me to, or well, on my glove, so probably not a good thing for me to touch my phone with that hand. Yeah, the next step will be finding a new sending unit and restoring the tank. And I guess we'll do a video on that later, because this is my only day off. I gotta work again tomorrow night, so Alright. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks. See you guys later.